Hello everyone, checking in on the cryptocurrency space. A lot's gone on since the last time we talked. On days when I have a lot of life stuff and other things going on, I put out member updates because it's quicker and easier for me. So if you don't hear from me, that's what's going on. But Bitcoin is now in a daily downtrend. We hit the high, the low, we were watching for a lower high. What is the indication that our daily lower high has been set? Loss of the 4-hour uptrend. We zoom in, we look at the 4-hour uptrend. If you exited on the loss of the 4-hour uptrend or entered bearish, that was above $10,000, just above it. And then we dumped down 6.5%, 7% very, very quickly. So loss of the 4-hour uptrend was a great signal of bulls losing their momentum. Keep in mind that the market sentiment shift has now taken place. We are in a daily downtrend. The dips are not going to be bought as significantly and as aggressively as just a week ago when we were in a daily uptrend. So adjust our levels. I put out a video yesterday explaining some of our alerts in the alert system. I talked about market cycles and how the market cycles determine a daily and a weekly uptrend. 15-minute RSI touching 30 means a lot different. It's a much different signal than being in a daily downtrend with that 15-minute RSI touching 30. So just be aware that the market cycle has shifted a little bit. Also be aware that what was an indication that we were nearing a top? FOMO, euphoria on social media. I talked about it over the past few days. I talked about on social media, I posted that groupthink video and the psychology of when everybody's looking in one direction and you get to a point where everybody is so bullish that everybody that's going to buy in the short term has done so. That's when we look for a top. So I use social media at times as a bit of a counter indicator. Social media in itself is never going to make me enter or exit a position, but I'm going to have that in the back of my mind. And if I say, if I see a loss of the 4-hour uptrend setting the daily lower high, knowing that euphoria on social media has been so high, maybe it's going to mean a little bit more to me than if that were not the case. So daily downtrend means zoom out and look for a weekly higher low to form. Bitcoin and most altcoins have tons of space for a weekly higher low to form. There's no major red flags at this point on this consolidation. Is this our monthly lower high on the equilibrium being set that we've been talking about for so long? Maybe. The probability needle that it is goes up a little bit with the loss of the daily uptrend, but if I'm going to be certain that the monthly lower high has been set, I'm going to have to see a loss of the weekly uptrend, which means we have to set a higher low, fail to break the resistance, and lose the weekly uptrend, and then we'll say, yep, that's our monthly lower high, and we're really tight if that does happen. So that's a ways out. Short term, what the bulls want to see is a bear break with no follow through, because a loss, or I should say a change in trend with no follow through, means zoom out and look for a flag. Could this still be a weekly bull flag? Yes. I would say if we break 9,000, it will no longer be a possible weekly bull flag. But if 9,000 holds, considering this most recent leg up went $2,700 and we've only pulled back at this point $1,200, if we get to the 50% retracement point, then I'll start to negate that flag. But at this point, I would say a flag is still possible. Bulls just showed up right now, right before recording, to set a higher low compared to the low of yesterday. They played defense. So here's the bulls going on defense. Bear flush. We hit 9,300s, just under 9,400, held the low of yesterday, and bulls see a significant multiple percent dip. So bulls are just hoping for a daily inside bar today. And so far, it's looking pretty good like that's going to form. Any bounce, we know anything under 10,315 is just a lower high. But again, best case scenario would be a bear break yesterday, an inside bar today, a bull break tomorrow, which would start to paint the narrative of a loss of the uptrend, a daily downtrend, and a lack of bear follow through. Dominance chart for Bitcoin has set a daily higher low and is now trying to change the daily trend. We have to see a break of 65.49 for that to be the case. If we reject and see a tightening range, the 12-hour time frame, haven't even looked at it yet, but let's see. So that wick is incorrect. But we'll be looking for a 12-hour equilibrium if we cannot break resistance of 65.49. Tightening range, this is important to watch. This is going to tell us as we head into the start of March, is Bitcoin going to be stronger or are altcoins going to be stronger? Ethereum, daily equilibrium. So high, low, lower high, and trying to form a higher low compared to 236.37. That's the most important support. We need a 4-hour trend change back to the bulls in order for us to say confidently that our daily higher low has been established. And at this point on any bounce, we're just going to be looking for a 4-hour lower high. So it's going to take the bulls a lot of time here. We're going to need to see a 4-hour trend change to have confidence in the daily higher low and the daily equilibrium. But for now, it's a nice tightening range to be watching, still in a daily uptrend. Very important distinction to make between Ethereum and Binance or Bitcoin. ETH BTC also still in a daily uptrend. If we lose the daily uptrend, that would mean that the Bitcoin dominance chart is likely changing its daily trend. Litecoin dropped down for a daily lower high and lower low. That bear flag we were talking about on the daily has been confirmed, but again, no real bear follow through at this point, which means zoom out for healthy weekly consolidation still taking place. Bears will need more follow through on the daily time frame if we're going to say that this is more than healthy weekly consolidation. Again, anything under 79.75 is a 4-hour lower high, so we're a ways away from changing this 4-hour trend. Bulls have work to do. Short-term bounce underway, 4-hour trend change is needed for a longer-term bounce. I forgot to talk about my bounce play. Was fortunately at the computer when Ethereum was dumping and Bitcoin yesterday. So I ended up scaling in, as is my standard oversold bounce play. My first entry was 260. My second entry, and I actually ended up making 3 entries, but it was 260, 254s, and 253s. And I ended up selling a third of that position just above break even on this initial bounce to give me some comfort. My break even at that point was roughly, we'll call it 256 or so, something along those lines. So sold a little bit in the upper 250s, sold a little bit at 265.89, and actually that was my order right there, 266.89, and only 15% of that order filled. We touched it and we pulled back from it. So as soon as I saw that rejection, knowing that the bounce had extended a bit, I pulled my ask, the 85% that did not fill, and market sold to ensure that I just wanted to lock that in, and ended up selling in the 264s. But then I had 25% of my position remaining and put a stop loss under 257 overnight, and I was stopped out. So in the end, nice solid little oversold bounce play, and now back to all cash and patiently waiting for clarity. So back to XRP. XRP daily bear flag confirmed. Lower high and lower low. Lack of bear follow through at this point. 4-hour time frame. And on any bounce, we're looking for a 4-hour lower high compared to 309. And I don't believe we even have hourly trend changes yet for most of these charts. So we're going to have to see hourly trend change back towards bulls, and then 4-hour. So as of right now, this daily consolidation, there's no red flags, but if we set 4-hour lower highs and then drop to lower lows into tomorrow, then we're going to start to be getting to some more extreme levels. But as of right now, lower lows that bulls are defending on a lot of coins. Binance, daily, lower high and lower low. Every name that we lined up over the past few days as stronger, except for Ethereum, but the stronger names, XTZ and Link, hit higher highs. Ethereum double topped. They were our stronger category. Our weaker category was BCH, BSV, BNB, and XRP. All of them are dropping to lower lows right now. Bitcoin and Litecoin were in the middle, but that distinction is playing out over the last few days, clearly showing us the weaker names following through with weakness and the stronger names following through with strength and holding up better. So it's a daily lower high and lower low, not a ton of bear follow through. We have hourly exponential resistances to be watching short term on a lot of names. But again, the 4-hour time frame is what I'm most interested in right now. We're looking for a 4-hour bounce to take place, and we're looking for a 4-hour lower high to be set into tonight. BCH, lower high and lower low on the daily. 4-hour chart, trying to get a bounce going. Just going to be looking for a lower high. BSV did not drop to a lower low, so it is still holding daily support. But the same time frame, same 4-hour time frame, with anything under 316.27 as just a 4-hour lower high. Link. So Link is still in a daily uptrend. We have a bit of a double top, 486 and 488. And another shout out to member Beastie Baller, who sold in the low 480s due to the super stack alert initially, and he sold in the upper 480s due to another super stack alert yesterday. Still in a daily uptrend. 385 is key support. Exponential support still holding, clearly one of the strongest daily charts, and Link is as well. Link is a daily inside bar. Anything above 274 is a daily high or low. Those are the two strongest altcoins that we've been following. So if I were to do the same rankings that I did 2 or 3 days ago, it'd be the exact same. Although except one shift, BSV, would shift into the middle of the road with Binance, I keep saying that, Bitcoin and Litecoin, because it has not dropped to a lower low. But everybody else that was on the weaker list has dropped to a lower low. So at this point, what am I going to be interested in? Probably just another leg down and oversold 4-hour conditions if I'm going to be interested in anything. Otherwise, I'm going to wait for the 4-hour time frame to develop, knowing that any bounce, we're just looking for 4-hour lower highs. I appreciate you watching. Hope you are doing well, and we'll see you soon.